last year I thought about how things can come around just like that.
Hey y'all, it's Burgess Taylor from Journey with Burgess, and it's Vlogmas Day 2, and this is coming a little bit late, but better late than never. It's still the second day, but it's almost 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm finally doing the voiceover. I've already done Patreon's version, but in the book, Show Your Work by Austin Kleon, who's also the author of Steal Like an Artist, he says, this is a quote from Michael Jackson. He says, a lot of people are so used to just seeing the outcome of work, they never see the side of the work you go through to produce the outcome. And one of the things that Austin says is when a painter talks about her work, she could be talking about two different things. There's the artwork, the finished piece, framed and hung on a wall. And there's the artwork, all the day-to-day stuff that goes on behind the scenes in her studio, looking for inspiration, getting an idea, applying oil to a canvas, etc. There's painting, the noun, and there's painting, the verb. As in all kinds of work, there's a distinction between the painter's process and the products of her process. One of the other things he says is that traditionally the artist has been trained to regard her creative process as something that should be kept to herself. A lot of people want to know what that is, what goes into that. So one of the things I wanted to do in this video is talk about some of the things that went into this and some of the things that have been going into the barn. I'm going to do a tiny bit of an update and put a picture at the end of this. One of my favorite things about doing these kinds of videos where I've sped up my process just a tiny bit and you get to see what I'm doing is that I get to do a voiceover. I get to chat about something. Prompt for December 1st was mistletoe. So I went looking on Google, found an image, found two images actually that I sort of combined together to make my mistletoe. And I'm going to talk about what I'm using in it. I looked at the screen while I drew it. I am using a Staedtler Mars Techno pencil, a Staedtler Mars plastic eraser, along with a Tombow mono eraser, and a kneadable eraser by Faber-Castell. You're going to see me kind of choose what pen to use. I end up using a fine liner. I think it's a Faber-Castell fine liner, and I also ended up using a ballpoint, a Bic Crystal, and then I used my watercolors. I also ended up using the Staedtler Tri Plus fine liners because they're not waterproof, mind you, because at the end to add in a bit of detail because I've already boxed up my colored pencils, y'all. So I wanted to just kind of go over some of the things. I looked at the screen at the two different images, combined them together, and that's what I ended up with. And you'll see me kind of rearranging the leaves a bit because, those were a bit odd to do, the leaves. I'm pretty happy with the way that it turned out. I chose to have those two coffees with the little peppermint candy picture with the little coffee maker in that journal page. This is my document my life fun. And I think when I go into next year, I'm going to be doing the A6 for fun, for prompts and things like that. I think I might do the doodle wash prompts in the A6 because I want to do something for fun, and that is a good thing, I think, because I still want to document my life. I wanted that to be separate, but I want to get better at doing things. So if I have a prompt list, I'm not really big into prompts, but the good thing about prompts is that you can kind of make it more your own. So on some days when I don't really feel like doing a whole lot of drawing or I don't have time, I could take a picture of something and then go back to it later and draw that. So I don't know, it's just something to think about. One of the other things about the process of doing things is on this journal page, I wasn't really sure of what I wanted to do on the rest of the page. I'm going to take a picture of that page and put it into the video. But for now, let's talk about what I did. I kind of drew two pieces of paper, like journal pages, and then I did a blanket. And then I had taken some Aleve for back and muscle pain because I ended up with the heating pad on because when we were doing the insulation up in the baffles up in the ceiling for the insulation, I turned the wrong way and I pulled a muscle on my left, in my back where my left rib cage is. And it has had me in such pain this whole week, just in a lot of pain. It's finally eased up now, and I'm feeling better, but yesterday and Monday, it was killing me. And I don't like to take medicine. I mean, I take Tylenol for arthritis, and that helps. I cannot take arthritis medicine because it messes up my stomach. It hurts my stomach. I had an ulcer a long time ago, and so I can't take arthritis medicine. I tend to try to be careful when it comes to stuff like that, because not a good thing, you know, when you certain kinds of medicine. So anyway, I wanted to do things a little bit different. And with this journal page, I found myself feeling like what I really wanted to do was something fun, something interesting, something wow, you know, like I want to improve my drawing, so I'm actually paying more attention to the details, to doing the little lines and doing a little bit of shading. And is this perfect? No, it is not remotely perfect, but it looks decent enough, I think. I think it looks decent enough. I like my page overall. I had enough room for some journals. I had enough room for some quotes, and that's what's important. And you'll see. And like I said, I'm so sorry about the focus. It's a pain in the butt. It's a pain in the butt, y'all. It's a big pain in the butt. It's supposed to be on manual focus, and sometimes it will go off a manual focus all on its own, and then it wants to do that thing where it's trying to focus. I'm having fun. And I think what I may do for light, which is I think tomorrow's, let me look. Yes, today's, which because I'm a day behind, I'm actually going to do a barn update because I have the lights in the barn and you can kind of see. And I think tomorrow might be a barn update, and I'm going to take I've got a picture to put in there in my journal page for today. I'm going to be printing it and putting it on there, and I might draw the lights as well. But I'm having fun, and that's what's important. Another thing that Austin Kleon says is do what you do best and link to the rest. So if you find something online, like I talked about, I went on Google and found these. At the end, I'll put Google image. Because it wasn't really accredited to anybody. It was just so at the bottom, I ended up, you can't see it on here, but I ended up writing Google image used as reference. Now, sometimes I will find things in a magazine, or I will use that and maybe put that in there as well, like as collage. Sometimes I actually paint things that I'm looking at, in real life, which is cool. But I think some of the times we don't show, as an artist, like we'll do these journal with me's, or people are doing these fantastic things in their bullet journals with art. And that's, it's very creative. Using a bullet journal, whichever way you tend to use it, I think is absolutely wonderful. If, I don't need to do that in my journal. I do a little bit of it. But sometimes it's collage, and sometimes it's drawing and watercolor, and sometimes it's stickers. It's just whatever I'm in the mood for. But I like doing this. I love doing this. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love Create December. If I don't use prompts for the rest of the year, I'm going to be doing Create December because they're fun. But I've been trying to practice. And I've been taking watercolor classes. I've taken a class with Alyssa Burke. I've taken a class with Idrit Landgraf. I've taken, I think, 2 Alyssa Burke classes, actually, and a few other classes, and on Skillshare and stuff. And I've been trying really hard to improve, because I like doing fun stuff. Sometimes it's more flat, that's not dimensional, but I really want to get better at what I'm doing. So I've been trying to pay more attention to the light and the shading and stuff like that. And I think that when you're doing things like this, it actually helps. It really does. Not just taking a class, but it's the doing that helps. One of the things that I've also come to realize that I don't need all those supplies. You see all those things on my desk? One of the things I'm trying to accomplish with the barn studio is that I want my desk to be pretty clear of things. I'm going to have one thing or two things, and that's pretty much going to be it. It's, you know, I want it to be so that it's a filming surface and a work surface. My computer is on one corner and the other part is the work surface where I'm filming. The craft table is where my writing computer is going to go. I like the idea of being able to have some space that's clear. All this stuff that's on my desk, I need to find a better way to store things. And that's one of the things that I'm doing. I'm also working on just in general, instead of going through things quickly, just to get it done, I'm actually enjoying the process because this is really relaxing. Drawing and watercoloring is very relaxing to me, and I'm actually taking my time now and not being so impatient and wanting to see the outcome. That's where that other part was coming from. So I wanted y'all to see, because I'm adding this little bits of yellow, very, very pale watered down yellow. And then I go back in with the Stettler Tri Plus yellow and add a little bit more detail, like some little lines, just some wiggly little lines to make it look more realistic. Not realistic as in I want it to look like a photo. That's not what I'm looking for in my art. I'm never going to be a realism. I'm never going to be, that's not that kind of art. That's not my thing. But I do want to get better and I want to enjoy myself, and I'm finding my own way, and that's fun. One of the other things that I think I've noticed is that if I'm not filming, or if I'm filming and I have plenty of time, I don't use the heat gun. I let things dry and I just work on things as I go, and then it's cool. I'm learning to have more patience, which is not easy. Not easy at all. So on this spread for Tuesday, it was sunny. It was 48 was the high and 27 was the low. And that's Fahrenheit. And I did my little, you're not going to see it until the end, but my theme for the day was the coffee and the mistletoe and the sun shining, and then I added a few more little bits. Like I said, you'll see those. As I go through these prompts, I'm going to draw some of the things. I'm going to take a picture of some of the things. I'm going to do a little bit of collage for some of the things. I don't think I'm going to limit myself to only drawing things. I may add a little bit that I do draw, because like I said, I do want to improve, but I'm going to think creatively with this. I'm not going to do every single thing based off of drawing, and watercoloring. I might take some collage and cut half of it away and then draw the rest of it and watercolor the rest of it, just to kind of play. Like I said, I've got a picture of the barn that I'm going to use for light, or I'm going to take another picture. I'm going to draw the light maybe, or something, and just use that as a theme. Maybe use the word light as a theme. I don't know. I really like the track lights because I can adjust them and move them in the barn, but I have realized that I need a lamp. I'm going to have the ring light, so that will help, but I'm going to have a lamp over where my writing section is, where my little chair is, so I'm going to hunt. I've talked about it before. I'm going to start hunting like Goodwill and stuff. So I hope that you enjoy this. I will see y'all again really soon. I'm going to add a little bit of music to the end of this, and I'll see y'all in tomorrow's video. And have a good one. Bye, y'all.